won so many times. They say there's an air you carry so that even when people are approaching you to fight, they're a little hesitant because you're a serial winner. But the minute you are beaten, you are demystified.
That's
So
true.
every single thing that happens, they will take advantage of it. I think that's what it is. He has been demystified, so it was easy for Leon Edwards to come up again
And this is the
and
second
jog
time.
around. This is second time. So this is their third fight. He won the first one, Edwards challenge, and that's the one he won when he killed him. And then this is the um fight after that. So this was fight three.
Wow.
So really sad one. I just thought that if Usman was going to win, he was supposed to enter the octagon with a gidibo from start to finish. But he was trying to be a little technical, trying to lock him, I was just like, oh God,
Let's beat this man.
all these things don't work, and it didn't work at the end of the day. So,
Oh.
but the good news is other people's own worked. We'll get to the story of where Lionel Messi was booed. Yeah, you heard it here.
Booed.
They booed him. Boo. We'll talk about all that. But before we do, let's tell you how you can be a part of the locker room, Zibby.
All right, just send us a message via WhatsApp. The number is 0809 4440981. You can also tweet at Smooth981 and catch the live stream up on YouTube. It's at Smooth981 on YouTube, and even post a comment on there.
All right. So we'll be talking about that. We may open the phone lines if you're kind to me, today being the day of happiness. But yeah, let's run through all the stories that we are going to be taking in the locker room today.
All right, Tobi Amusan opens 2023 season with win in Auburn. Formula One, Fernando Alonso reinstated on podium in Saudi Arabia after demotion overturned. Alcaraz wrote Medvedev for Indian Wells title, returned to number one. Manchester City to face Sheffield United, Brighton to play Manchester United. Barca snatched Clasico win over Madrid to strike title blow. Conte blasts Tottenham players after Saints draw. PSG lead in League R cut after home defeat against Rennes. And Caustic fires Juve past Inter as ruthless Napoli continue title march.
All right, there was not enough time to mention that, there was a draw at the Blues drew again. And you're even wearing blues with pride. You're not even, small shame didn't catch you. Went from 9th to 10th to 11th to 9th. You were just jumping around 9th and 10th. Is your mate not jumping around 1 and 2? And you wore blue today. In fact, you're not going to be in this locker room. I don't like this kind of thing. How can you draw and be wearing blue proudly?
Wow, Tega.
Let's start with the Nigerian girl.
All right, world champion Tobi Amusan has opened 2023 on an impressive note by clinching victory at the Auburn Tiger Track Classics. She clocked a time of 23.38 seconds to win the women's 200 meters.
All right, in case you didn't know, Tobi Amusan competes in the 100 meters and 200 meters. In fact, she's usually part of the Nigerian quartet for the relay races when it comes to the 100 meters. So this time wasn't the hurdles that she used to open her season's win. It was the 200 meters that she competed in and won. So starting the season on the right note, Nigerian women keep winning. I don't know about the men. But let's leave the gender war for now and move on to the next story.
All right, Fernando Alonso has been reinstated to third place in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix after stewards overturned their earlier decision to demote him.
All right, so this was a tricky one. Now, first of all, Saudi Arabian Grand Prix was crazy. It's one of the fastest street circuits on the calendar, and I expected to see, some drama. Then qualifying starts, and Max Verstappen had a problem with his car. I think it was something to do with the gearbox. So anyway, bottom line is he couldn't qualify for Q3. So he had to park the car and he was in 15th. I was excited till I remembered that Red Bull is the fastest car here. Even if he starts 15th, the only person that is going to be his competition on the track was going to be Sergio Perez, which is what it turned out to be. Because he started in 15th position, but the way he was blitzing through the track, people were not even defending. As soon as they noticed it was Max Verstappen, they just moved to the side, with their wheelbarrow car. That's how slow they look. They look like wheelbarrows compared to him. And so he kind of blitzed through, got behind Sergio Perez, and Sergio Perez was like, you know what? I'm not giving up my position. And he just kept pounding. But what was interesting again, Aston Martin, remember from the first race, Alonso was fantastic with his drive. Also competed a little bit, but of course he doesn't have the speed or the pace of the Red Bull. But they had said that his starting position on the grid at the start of the race
Mm.
wasn't in the right position. He was starting a little bit towards the left as opposed to in the middle of the designated spots that were given. So he was given a 5 second penalty. Now he gets into the pits to serve his 5 second penalty. And just before the 5 second penalty was up, the guy holding the jack at the back um pushed the jack forward. So the jack kind of touched the car. And the stewards considered that working on the car because you're not supposed to touch the car until the 5 seconds
Oh.
stop. So the steward said because of that touch, they considered it that he had worked on the car before the 5 second penalty was over. So at the end of the race, they gave him like a 10 second penalty. Now, because they gave him a 10 second penalty, that dropped him behind George Russell, who finished third, and he became fourth just in front of Lewis Hamilton. That's what they said. That's how Aston Martin just carried their folder under their armpits and entered the steward's room and said, you know what? This time, this year, that year, this year, this, yeah.
They got receipts.
Yeah, they got receipts. Like, these guys weren't punished for this kind of thing. So why are we punished? And we also had an agreement that just touching the car shouldn't be considered as working on the car. Anyway, because they brought their receipts, they had to now overturn the results. So George Russell drops back to fourth.
Wow.
As opposed to taking third position. I'm just wondering why Mercedes didn't bring out their own receipts when it was Lewis Hamilton's time for the title. But yeah, ultimately, Alonso got his podium finish. He got his points, and it's such a brilliant season. I don't want anything to be taken from those points because he has driven that car absolutely well. Mercedes, on the other hand, they finished where they finished, fourth and fifth. And if you think their own situation was bad, wait till you see Ferrari. So Ferrari looked like they were going to compete a little bit. Leclerc was going through the field, and then safety car comes out, and they call Lewis Hamilton in, and he comes out in front of Leclerc and Sainz. And Leclerc was like, and it was when Lewis Hamilton gets into the pits that Ferrari now told their drivers, you really need to step on it, and Lewis Hamilton has entered the pits. Leclerc was like, you were supposed to tell us before he enters the pit. Like when you see him about to turn in, that's when you tell us to step on it. So that we use that lap, to really push. Now he's in the pit. Well, how far can we push before we are right beside him? So again, they're getting it off wrong with not just, we can complain about their reliability, we can complain about their pace with regards to Red Bull, but again, they're getting it wrong with strategy.
Wow.
All right.
Okay, let's go on to tennis. Now, Spain's Carlos Alcaraz swept past Daniil Medvedev 6-3, 6-2 on Sunday to win the Indian Wells ATP Masters 1000 and also secure his return to number one in the world.
All right. So, like I told you, Calito, I'm not calling him that with a straight face because that's a big dude. But he's a guy. He's a guy to look forward to. If you thought, with the Federers and the Nadal has dropped out of top 10 for the first time in 18 years. So, just reaching the end of their career, really don't send Djokovic like that. But yeah, with the old guys going out and you're wondering, how will tennis be? Well, Carlitos got you all covered. This guy is amazing. He is a combination of talent and athleticism. He's a great guy. He has skill, he has movement, he has everything, and then he has the right attitude. Even when it comes to the game, he's like, I'm going to beat you, but he keeps a humble face on. He tells you humbly how he's going to beat you. So he gets on court. He's been performing amazing all season. Gets on court against Daniil Medvedev, who was on a 19-match winning streak. Now, this was what I thought was going to be the tough one because as much as Daniil Medvedev doesn't have the movement on court like Alcaraz, he doesn't have the speed like Alcaraz, but he plays his point. He organizes his points well. His strategy is amazing. His tactical ability is amazing. And so I thought with those big serves, with the ground strokes, he was going to be able to do something, right? That 19-year-old boy made him look like an amateur. There were too many times You saw Medvedev floundering, just wondering
Wow.
what he's doing on this court with a 19-year-old guy. He really didn't look good at all. You would be if you hadn't watched the tournament, you'd be wondering, is this the guy that's been winning 19 matches and nobody how come nobody beat this guy? But that's how ordinary Alcaraz made him look on the day. So congratulations to Alcaraz. He's moved back into world number one. And what makes it unfortunate for Novak Djokovic, who is in world number two, is that he can't come to America because he refused to be vaccinated. And so there's a 1,000 Masters this week, and Alcaraz is defending champion there. I don't know if he still has enough in his tank to go all the way, but any amount of points he's able to gather may just be good news. So not looking really good for Djokovic, but yeah, Djokovic can, he may get it back on the clay swing. But let's see how that goes. But great one for Alcaraz winning there. On the women's side, it was again a repeat of the Australian Open final. It was Rybakina against Sabalenka. And this time, Rybakina was like, I've met you before. I know you. And she beat her like she knew her. Like she went to watch the tape of the Australian Open and saw all her lapses and took advantage of it. But you could watch both of them. You could tell both of them were nervous. Because on the big points, they were giving out double faults or making mistakes. And I'm like, why you are so afraid of each other? But I guess when you've played against a tough opponent, you kind of trying to second guess and all of that. But at the end of the day, Rybakina came out top. So really good week for Rybakina. I like the fact that she's staying in number 2. She looks like a top 10 player. And it's a good thing that she's there. But for Iga Swiatek though, it's like Rybakina has her number. Like this, if Iga Swiatek is great, then she gets to Rybakina, and that's her kryptonite.
Wow.
That's it. So she has to find a way around Rybakina if she's going to dominate as much as she has been. Yeah.
All right. Well, let us know what your thoughts are. 0809 4440981. That is the WhatsApp number. And of course, you can also tweet at smooth981. Do you want to read a message?
Let's just read this message before we go anywhere. Let's take this message from Tayo. It says, my weekend, how can Crystal Palace fire Patrick Vieira on St. Patrick's Day? That's why Arsenal beat them like that. And then he says, Palace, take it easy with the law of coincidence. It's now my ancestors that they want to appoint as coach. I thought finding coaches wasn't hard. Good run for Kamaru Usman at UFC.
Are you saying that it's time to hang up the...
Well, that's what people are thinking, but we'll wait to see how he bounces back from this.
All right. Well, do stay with us. We're going on a break. We'll continue on the other side. This is The Locker Room on Smooth 98.1.
I was dancing for you. You now took off the camera.
Sorry?
No, I was dancing for her. She now took off the camera.
Oh, okay. Why are you filming? Is that for Tega?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was wondering. Tega.
It's not for me, oh. It's for what's it, Alex. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Tega. In this life, always carry receipts after every transaction. It's true, though.
Please, you need to go and you need to go and call Sam. Or Believe.
What's up?
They're the only ones that can put on the popping machine.
Oh, really? Yeah. Mariam! What?
So that's what I called. You know me, I don't waste time. I called the security. They said they're the only ones that can put it on.
Oh, wow. Let's hope they're in.
They are going to be, but they're not.
They're not.
They're not.
How do you know from now? From where you're sitting?
No. I'm saying you have to call their phone. That's why I said call their phone.
Okay. Please, you do that call outside, girl.
Are we about to come back?
No,
Okay.
but can't be.
So everybody's Ramadan is on now.
Oh, really? Is this the? Oh, there's no.
So Christians and
Muslims. Is
Muslims
this
are-
the Ramadan Mario?
Mariam will lie that if it's the Ramadan, please tell us if you are Muslim.
Please,
so that
we need to
Mariam will give us
know.
a ram.
Yes, please.
Because she can lie for Africa. So I shouldn't give us ram. Please tell us if you're Muslim and you're watching YouTube. Is this the Ramadan? Let's know how to prepare ourselves.
We need some barbecue, man.
So Christians and Muslims are fasting and they are fighting all over.
Christians are fasting?
It's almost Easter. Mr. Saman believe. The security. Not admin. There's no admin. It's engineering.
Is Chisaba here?
Chisaba is not the one. It's Sam. It's Sam, I believe.
Did you call him on the phone? Okay, check if Belief is here then.
They are the ones. Don't mind it. Security will not lie. He's probably going to be late.
Right. Okay, let's go on to talk about sports. Emergency call. What is up with that?
Don't call, just open the locker room page. Is it open? Is it working?
Yes, it is the doc. You're inside the locker room on Smooth 98.1. It's Tega and Zibby here. And yes, we're streaming live on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Just search for Smooth 981. Catch the live
Oh,
stream and yeah, post the comments as well.
yeah, on the WhatsApp chat, Cruz says, "Are you ready for small drag in ZB?" But that
Oh.
they drag with love.
How do you drag with love?
I don't know, but why do you say why do you wear blue on the day after people will drop points? You don't even have conscience.
Wow.
All right. All right, let's take the next stories. We are waiting to receive your messages on
0809 4440981.
all right.
Cruz has a message.
Who says
Is
yes, he said he was asking is Aston Martin not using Mercedes engine? They are oh, they are. I've not seen this thing before where you're using the owner's engine and you're doing better than the owner. I don't understand it myself. Um, so we'll take your messages. Let's take the story, then we can take the next message. Yeah.
all right. Now, Manchester City will face Championship side Sheffield United in the FA Cup semi-finals, while Brighton will play Manchester United. In the last quarter-final, Manchester United came from behind to beat Fulham 3-1 at Old Trafford.
All right, so let's start with the wonder kid, and this guy I call him a wonder kid because even when I look at him, you know, it's amazing. He looks like he's very the Erling Haaland. He's so mighty. And then the camera pans to his face, and you can tell that this guy is just a baby.
He
You're
is.
like, why are you a giant baby, jumping all up over the place? But yeah, this weekend was also a great weekend for him. He still scored a hat trick.
Wow.
It's
Can
like,
he just not stop scoring?
well, since people were wasting time to abuse other leagues at their farmers league, he came to check out which league is not farmers league, and he has been scoring now. I think 41 goals. Correct me if I'm yes,
Wow.
41 goals, and we're a match.
Wow.
I've not seen this kind of bad behavior, but amazing. I mean, everybody. I think what was upsetting to me was that Manchester City were playing against their former captain. Their former captain, Vice Company, is now
Mm.
the head coach of Burnley, and you are clearly superior to this team. And it was not just on paper; it was on the pitch. At 3-0, couldn't you just say, "Vice Company used to be my friend. I don't need to decimate his team like this. Why did you keep going? You know, no respect." And after the match, all of them went to go and hug him. If I don't have spirit of sportsmanship, well, me, I would have just gone straight down the tunnel. Just straight down the tunnel. But yeah, it was always going to be a tough one for Burnley. But they came up against Manchester City and they were beaten. FA Cup has surprises too. So I don't blame Manchester City too for trying to play to their strengths. But at some point, just hold back a little. So Manchester City are now through the play against Sheffield, which is interesting. That's another team that on paper that Manchester City should absolutely destroy. But Manchester United come up against a tough one in Brighton and Hove. Now Brighton, you understand how they have been this season, a tough nut to crack even against the big boys. So it's no surprise that they got here. But for Manchester United against Fulham, it was a very interesting one. So Manchester United is trailing against Fulham 70th minute. The ball gets to Sancho. Goalkeeper has come out. Willian is on the line. And Sancho takes the shot, and the ball is going in the back of the net. Now, Willian's hand is actually out. He pulls his hand to his body. Unfortunately, pulling his hand towards his body was also pulling his hand towards the ball because the ball was going to pass through right under his body and enter into the goal. So he was pulling his hand to the body, which is a good position where his hand should be. But in pulling his hand to his body, he pulls his hand to the ball. It stops the ball from entering the back of the net. In any situation, in any country, in any kingdom, on any day, it's a penalty and a red card. But there's the argument that his hand is to his body, his hand is towards his body, and Mitrovic now loses it. And Mitrovic is trying to talk to the referee that had gone to review it and given the red penalty and the red card. Mitrovic now grabs the referee's hand. And the referee, he was already sharing the red card anyway.
Right.
He just brought out the red card and gave Mitrovic like he won this red card. Now here is what it is: because he grabs the referee's hand, and then he goes on to start yelling at the referee later on. It's violent conduct.
Of course.
So people are saying that he should be. Some people are saying, oh, he should be banned 10 games. Yeah, because it's violent conduct against the referee. Now, if you ask me, I always say this: if you want to collect red card, collect good red card. Like you see that red card Zizou collected at the World Cup. Every time they showed the red card, every time they showed that headbutt, you gave him a red card again.
Oh.
Do you understand? That's a red.
That was a classic.
That's a good red card to collect. I don't like red card for nonsense. If you're going to get it, he's still going to get a ban for violent conduct. It's not going to be a 1 match or 3 match ban. So
Wow.
I don't know. I'm not saying that you should have death to the referee, but
No, we do not condone violence.
I'm just saying, if you're going to collect a red card, collect a good one. But yeah, but after they consider penalty and then they concede a goal immediately after. I mean, it was always going to be a struggle trying to defeat Manchester United with 9 men. So they're out. Manchester now faces Brighton. So good one for Manchester. Eric Ten Hag really looking good. He has already won 1 trophy. FA Cup is looking strong for him. He's still in Europe. The guy is solid.
All right, now Barcelona snatched a 2-1 Clasico win over Real Madrid with Frank Kessie's late goal Sunday, and that is taking them 12 points clear at the top of the La Liga.
League is over. People should blow whistle, throw in the towel, ring the bell. What else did how they show that something has closed? Just sing now the day is over, because the La Liga is kind of over. And I know the Barcelona players will come out and say it's still Real Madrid. It's only 12 points. We still have games to win. Yada yada yada. Blah blah blah. League is over. All right. So the El Clasico started like the El Clasico should, with all the bad blood, all the urgency, and all the vermont, just the way we like it. Not too much fights, which we also like to see, but a lot of all that competition. But it was Barcelona dominating play, creating chances, had several chances to go ahead, and then against the run of play, Barcelona's defense did what it always does. It gave away a bonus goal. It was like bonanza goal. Vinicius takes the ball, runs to the corner as he usually does, makes a cross that wasn't really going anywhere because neither one of Valverde or Benzema were attacking the ball in the 18-yard box. But Araujo heads the ball and it enters the back of the net.
Wow.
Real Madrid won, Barcelona nil. And then, because that's what I always say about the Barcelona defense, it always just gives something. But the good news for them is that their attack is hungry. They create chances, they always want to score. And they did that. They kept chasing, they kept pressing. They looked like they were going to go back again, go behind by 2-0, but they get the ball, press, eventually get a goal just before halftime. That's when the match started. Second half, they came out. It was now both sides, with their opportunity. The game became a little stretched. It became a little more open. Changes were made, but eventually, at the end of the day, the ball was put in the net by substitute Frank Kessie, and it gives Barcelona the win. 12 points at the top. What are we still playing for? Why can't we share the rice? We've said I do. And they are now husband and wife. Can we go home? The league is over. But yeah, I guess you have to play all 38 games before you crown the champions. That's why we are still here.
Right, that is true. All right, so Antonio Conte has lambasted his Tottenham Hotspur players as selfish after they squandered a 3-1 lead at Southampton to draw 3-3 and drop crucial points in their bid to hang on to the 4th place in the Premier League on Saturday.
Conte. I was dancing, but I shouldn't be dancing. So, Tottenham get to the field of play against Southampton. Tottenham plays how Southampton usually plays, like they were the ones at the bottom of the table. Then Tottenham gets a goal against the run of play. And Southampton came back, get their own goal. So 1-1, it looks good. It's a competition. We are all fine. Then Tottenham came back, scored the second goal, scored the third goal, and the match looked like it was done and dusted. Southampton came and scored 2 more goals.
Wow.
One was a penalty towards the end of the game. Now, Tottenham had a chance. Literally last play of the game. There's a set piece. They cross the ball into the 18-yard box. Longley misses the header. Referee blows the whistle. Come and see Conte. He went into the press conference. Everybody he threw under in fact, he did not throw everybody on the bus. He threw the whole club, and then he now threw the bus away. he finished he finished his players. He said they're selfish, that they play as individuals, that they are level men, they are not a team. Then he now said, why am I even talking safe? Even this management has been here. Yeah, so the management has been here for so and so years, and the team has not won. I guess you know who the problem is. Bottom line,
Wow.
the problem cannot be me. Like
What is wrong with Conte?
like there have been other coaches before me and they've all failed. It's like cannot be the problem. I was just like,
Okay, he's definitely not coming back.
no, he's definitely not coming back. But this is look, Conte does this all the time. I've said it when Conte's team wins. Oh, brilliant players, amazing players, fantastic guys. When they lose like this,
Wow.
he brings it all out. So this rant is not the first one I've heard, but this was the most comprehensive rant because it touched everybody, every single person.
It was raining.
I don't know how he's going to go to training today and tell his team to play for him. Good news for him is that there's an international break. So he will take this international break to rethink his life, and then he will come back because he took out everybody.
Wow.
He took out everybody.
But his frustration was justified a bit.
I beg you should travel. Is it the first person that they've come back with 2
I
goals?
mean-
I understand. Look, but Tottenham, that's what there's a reason they call them bottling club. They've been bottling stuff since. So your job was, before you took the job, you should have known that this is their trait. And so your job was to end that trait. So if you've come and you've still not been able to end that, you failed now. Sometimes when you fail, just know that you have failed. No, we'll be dragging everybody left, right, and center. Anyway, it was good content for the show and good content for the weekend. All right, so let's take some messages now. Let's start with MC Shay X. He says,
Zibby, Ekaro, Tega, Wekobiro. This is Shy X. Tega, apart from sports, you should go into dancing. Please, Chelsea, continue with the winning streak. The fear of Real Madrid is the beginning of wisdom. Tega, please praise Barca well. PSG and Bayern fell like Goliath. Man City has resolved to beat anybody from 4 goals upwards. Haaland, please, can you just no? I will not read that.
I will not read that. Haaland will not be injured in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Let's move on to Tayo.
Tyler
says, Man City, unlike Liverpool, would flog their opponents and still have reserve in the tank. I'm eyeing Goretzka. Haaland matchup for the Champions League. It looks good on paper, but let's wait and see. It's true. Bayern Munich versus Manchester City will be great to watch. And this one is from Chukwudi. He says,
Haaland's highest goal tally in one of the Farmers' Leagues is 27. He's currently on 28 goals in the EPL, aka the toughest league in the world, with 11 games left to play.
Chukwudi, there's no need for you to go low. When they go low, we go high. This one is from Grateful. He's Shegun from Ado Ekiti. He says, hi guys, Madrid is just completely a different team in La Liga from the team they are in the Champions League. I agree. Winning the Champions League again may not be enough to save Carlo Ancelotti's job. If he doesn't win it, he's definitely a gunner. Tega, Haaland is on 42 goals, not 41. You're right, 42. He scored 3 on the 9th. This is Maiwa Oshadare who says,
Pep takes no prisoners when it comes to playing his old players or colleagues. He beat Arteta 5-0 last season, and now he is also beating Company 6-0. Arsenal is on fire. Kim K needs to visit the Etihad during the Man City versus Liverpool game because there apparently is a Kim K curse. I loved Conte's meltdown.
Yeah, and American Nelum says Conte's public meltdown was a sack me plea. The man is tired. I'm thinking he'll be sacked during the international break. Secondly, I also heard that Kim K was at the PSG stadium and PSG lost in flying colors. Please, when is she visiting Manchester City and Manchester United? No need for her to visit Chelsea. They're already losing without her, yeah? Wenga Kamu says Tottenham need more than special deliverance to win anything. That team no get luck at all. They always come up short. Even Arsenal at their worst won something. I agree with you. Biggie from Keto says, Tega, we need a locker room day for only Victor Osimhen. That guy is too good. 22 goals in 21 games, and he's in the queue for GOAT list. And Arsenal still doing the Lord's work. I'm still flying high on the table. Cruz says Manchester City just wanted to show Vison that they still consider him a good company job. Oh, we can't take all these messages. We have run out of time. So we have to leave Zibby's studio before she will take broom to chase me out. Zibby?
All right. Do stay with us. There's a lot more to come on the Smooth Breakfast.
These messages. I'm not even finished reading.
Chai. Oh
Chai
boy.
chai.